Welcome to the Third Win channel. Today we're ranking the seasons of iCarly, and we recently have done episode tier lists for all the seasons of iCarly, 1 through 6, so check those out if you want kind of more detailed reviews of the episodes and me kind of talking about the seasons generally with with a focus on the episodes. But in this one, we're going to make kind of like a summation of all these different tier lists that we've done. And I also want to mention that we do a lot of iCarly and Nickelodeon content on this channel, so be sure to check it out if you enjoy this video. And let's get into it. So the seasons of iCarly, season 1, I like to consider this one the season of the firsts. Season 2, the scenario season. Season 3, the character season. Season 4, the one for the fans. Season 5 is the SETI season for me, and season 6 is the season of features. This is the way I could kind of summarize or kind of bunch up these seasons in a way where I could divide them a little bit. But I'm going to talk about each season individually. So season 1, the firsts, obviously we have the pilot, and this season is where we get to know our characters, how iCarly comes to be, them developing into a big show online, and we get in the process some also more grounded episodes with them experiencing some things that might still be quite normal for normal people. You know, they're not celebrities yet. We get a lot more episodes at school. So all these things. But that being said, some of my favorites from this season are I Fence, I Hatch Chicks, I Want to Stay with Spencer, I Neville, I Spy on Mean Teacher. Those episodes, all of them, just, I don't know, they're so entertaining and the characters really shine. I love how funny they are, you know, with the Fence and Bensons, or with them naming each chick and having to find all of them, or when we have I Want to Stay with Spencer, we really get to see kind of how this goofy Spencer type is, how mature he can be to take care of Carly, and we get some real questions like, can he actually take care of Carly when her grandpa comes to take her to Yakima? And then what else can I say about season 1? There are some missteps. I think I'm about slightly less than a third of the season, I'd say, are episodes which I don't think are super great. But some of my absolute least favorites from the season are Sam's Boyfriend, I Date Freddy, and I am your biggest fan, and I Heart Art. So these episodes feel a little bit fillery. They're not as impactful as some of the ones I mentioned earlier. So, but my kind of summation for season 1 is I like how grounded it is, and how iCarly isn't they're not all celebrities yet, and I love how there are more episodes in the school, and it's just a very heartwarming season for me. Let's move on to season 2. Season 2 is the episode of scenarios. So what I mean by this is that it feels like each episode has something going on, and that's the entire focus of the episode. We don't really get any character development. We mostly just focus on that one thing that happens, going to Japan, or meeting Fred, or going to the WWE match, or this Locker 239, or the fact that Sam has a twin, you know, all these, or the fight with Shelby Marks. It's hard to explain, but that's how I see this season. It's just there's always just that one thing going on, which isn't always the case. So some of my favorites from this season are I Twins, Stage an Intervention, I Fight Shelby Marks, and I Pie. These are episodes where I think that the scenario thing works really, really well. And I will mention in this season, I absolutely love as well I Go to Japan. I think it's hilarious, and all the crazy things they get into in a different country, which is the only episode other than Canada that we see them be in a different country and trying to communicate with the Japanese guards. Super funny. Some episodes I don't think are very good are, for example, I think maybe the worst episode of iCarly ever is I Go Nuclear, and I Meet Fred isn't great either. This season is when we start to get the features rolling in as well. But what can I say about season 2? It's got a lot of really good episodes, but it's also got some mediocre ones, and some ones that just feel like a little fillery and non-memorable ones. Maybe due to the scenario thing, I don't know. But it doesn't have that same kind of sparkle that season 1 had as the first season. But let's move on to season 3, which I think is a series that, a season that focuses more on the characters and kind of makes them stand out, and maybe introduces some changes to the characters. let's start by mentioning some of my favorites here. I love for example, Ice Psycho. That was an amazing episode. It totally changed the game. I think it still kind of hasn't aged one bit till today. I think it fits perfectly with today's kind of age. What else? I love where is it? I quit. I like that one too. I believe in Bigfoot. I think that they, going to the supernatural is kind of fitting for iCarly. I love how they actually went out to the woods and they get into this whole altercation. There's some mystery at the end. It's just this season is so fun. And how can I forget? I Saved Your Life. That one goes down as probably one of my favorite iCarly episodes of all time. I mean, a little bit of a Freddy stan here. I do like the iCarly and Freddy stuff because I think it's really relatable and I like Freddy a lot. So yeah, I don't know. I really like season 3. I think there's like I could count on my hands how many. No, I mean there aren't really that many episodes I really dislike. The only ones I can really think of are Ice Space. I think that one's a bit useless, especially for being like a big premiere, not a premiere, but a special episode. Um, and I don't love iAwards. It feels like the kind of throwaway episode, but there's just a lot of quality here, and you won't find episodes that are just completely bad. Almost none of them, or the blooper one, I guess, but whatever. Moving on to season 4, which is a season I think that was done for the fans. There's 3 episodes that really stand out in this season and are like 3 of my favorites ever. First is I Get Pranky, where Spencer pranks everybody, and I love it. Then we have I Party with Victorious, which is, since I love Victorious so much, seeing the 2 series gel together, it was amazing. I thought it was, movie worthy. I thought it was super, super, super good. So entertaining. I could watch it so many times. And then lastly, which one have I not mentioned? Oh yeah, I Started Fan War, where we literally get like my favorite Nickelodeon shows all come together with like Drake and Josh and Zoe 101 and Victorious and iCarly all coming together, which is, I think, insane. Like, wow. That's what I mean. That's what I mean when I say that this season was for the fans. Even in an episode like I Do, you see Carly sing one of her singles from one of her albums, or Miranda Cosgrove's album. We see another episode focusing on Neville, which I think is a fan favorite. I think people like to see Neville. We see I Oh My God, where they try to go into the Freddy and Sam narrative, which I know there are a lot of fans of, which we do see in the I Started Fan War thing, so that's interesting too. We see Sam's mom, I think, which was a popular request as well. There's just a lot in season 4. It's really underrated. Moving on, we have season 5, which is the SETI season. We have literally like 4 or 5 episodes completely focused only on the relationship between Freddy and Sam, which I am not a huge fan of. It always felt forced to me. So I don't like it very much. I will mention really quickly also that I didn't mention which episode I thought was bad in this season, and there's one that really stands out as, together with Nuclear, the worst episodes of iCarly, is I Hire an Idiot. I don't like that episode at all. I think it's pretty awful. But back to season 5. I don't love the SETI stuff. I will be honest. I think that this season really stands out with one episode in particular, and it's kind of like the saving grace, which is I Still Psycho. That episode is, together with like I Party Victorious, again, like movie worthy. It's so entertaining, involves all the characters, and I don't know. I just think it's really, really exciting to watch. And again, I think the iPsycho stuff is genius. Moving on to seasons. So what else can I mention this season, actually? No, I think that's it. Season 6 is the episode of features. We just see literally One Direction, Jimmy Fallon, Pawn Stars, Emma Stone, a guy from Karate Kid. Um, I mean, we also see Carly's dad, but that's not really a feature. But it's got so many features. Maybe I forgot a couple. I'll mention some bad episodes first. I don't really love I know a lot of people love April Fools, but I'm not a fan of it. It's just a little too crazy for me. I like the more kind of character driven ones. And number 2, I think that I Pair Store is a throwaway episode, kind of in a similar way to I Space. There's just nothing learned there. It's just not very great. But moving on, I do love I Goodbye, I Shock America. I Lost My Head in Las Vegas, and Go One Direction. I think all those episodes are fantastic. I think they actually did the features really well in iCarly, which is kind of rare in shows. Really, like, very, very well done. I love how Gibby was to replace Harry in One Direction. So funny. I love how Gibby manages to sell his head inside the Pawn Stars shop. Amazing. Um, and in iShock America, I think the Jimmy Fallon stuff was handled super well. They included like all of the crew of Jimmy Fallon, which is really fun as well. And I Goodbye, who could forget? Such a well done series write off. And yeah, that's season 6. But let's get into the ranking of these seasons. I've talked long enough, and if you want to like get more detailed explanations of these seasons, go watch my episode tier list videos. There I actually get into kind of, what's the best, why is it best. So yeah, let's move on. Let's see. So number 6 we have season 5. And I've kind of alluded to this already, but yeah, the SETI season, what you get half a season of SETI and one really good episode, and that's it. And there's only 9 episodes, granted, but it's just not very good. I think season 5 is the poorest in iCarly, and I don't think there's much to say here. I just don't love it. Even like an episode like IQ just feels very out of character for iCarly, alluding to like that Carly is dumb, which I don't think she is. Because they have said that she's a straight A student, so didn't make any sense. There's a lot of things about season 5 that aren't great, especially in my opinion. Next, number 5, we have season 6. And honestly, from number 5 up, all these seasons are great. I don't really have much to complain about, so it's very difficult to actually put them in kind of an order that feels correct. But I put this one here because there are 2 episodes for me which were kind of I don't know if I'll ever come back to, which were the iPair phone, iPair shop, and the April Fool's episodes. I didn't love those, but otherwise, you also get like 4 or 5 episodes which are just the feature episodes, which honestly I love, but you can't make a show just on these features. And I think the fact that they managed to do these episodes and make them exciting without features was something that needs to be commended. So that's why season 6 ends up in the number 5 spot. But I do love season 6 as well. I think it's very entertaining. I think that's a key word here. So let's move on. Number 4, we have season 2. And this is where it got really difficult. So season 2 it feels longer than it is. Like, season 1 is the longest season of them all with most episodes, but season 2 feels like it has the most episodes. Granted, I have some of my favorites here as well, and I think I Go to Japan is a masterpiece, but there's just percentage-wise, there's just a lot of mediocre episodes in this season, and it feels like they could have done this season with 3, 4, 5 fewer episodes. Not that I would want fewer episodes, but that would have made this season probably stand out more. It's just a little hit or miss. And the whole scenario thing that I mentioned earlier does come into account. Maybe if we got a couple more really, episodes that had a shift in gear that were more like the ones in season 3, for example, where you get the I Saved Your Life. That's a really intense episode where we focus on the characters. We don't have that so much in this season. But let's move on to number 3, where we have season 4. And this is my underdog. I know most people think that season 4 probably goes in the back somewhere, but I love this season, and especially because we get that crossover with Victorious. I think I Get Pranky is a fan favorite. Like I mentioned, this is the season for the fans. I love I Start a Fan War, and there's just so many different things they do in this season which are underrated. I think that this season is amazing, and they do it for the fans, and I'm a fan, and I love this season. Moving on, number 2, we have season 1, the season that kicked it all off. And the difference between number 2 and number 1 is just that season 1 having so many episodes, I feel like the episodes that it has over season 3, which is our number 1, are, that how many is there? 7 episodes over season 3. You could take 7 of the worst episodes out of this season, and then it would be even with season 3. But you have those 7 extra episodes which are kind of throwaway. I don't know. I don't. There are some here which just don't add to anything and aren't super entertaining. So I have to be critical of these seasons. I think season one has gets bonus points for being the first and doing, you know, getting the ball rolling with every episode, kind of developing these characters and the scenario of iCarly and the show. So no, season one amazing. On a different criteria, you could put season one in first place, but what a way to start the show. And I think that this season has is what made iCarly what it was and what made it so big. And yes, I already said it. Number one, we have season three. I've gotten so many comments telling me that season three is their favorite, and I have to say, I don't know if it's my favorite, but I do have to admit that it's the best season of iCarly. Um, it introduced these really well written episodes like I Psycho, I Quit, I Save Your Life. Those episodes are amazingly written, and they really kind of grab your attention as fans and make you really care. And I love that. And the second reason why season three is number one is because of the few really like bad episodes. Most of the episodes are really quality. If you go watch my tier list episode by season three, I put like one or two in the skip category, and everything else is like pushed up towards great and favorite and iconic. Like this episode really nailed it on the quality. It seems like the good episodes are spread out through the series, through the season. So yeah, season three is the best season, I think, of iCarly. And yes, here is a quick graphic to show you the final rankings, with season 5 being the worst, season 6 being second worst, season 2 being the fourth place, season 4 with a close third place. I think it could have gone higher maybe if we kind of thought more about the percentage of good episodes, but no. Season 1 is second place and season 3 is first place. You know, remember, these are my opinions, and this was a bit of a hard video to make because it's hard to rank so many good seasons. It's a show where there isn't a consistent story, like for example The Walking Dead, or I don't know, Cobra Kai, where you can kind of go from point A to point B and you can see, oh, the story is weaker here, blah blah blah. This is more of a sitcom-y kind of thing, so it's difficult to rank them. But enough of me talking. If you enjoy iCarly and Nickelodeon content, make sure to subscribe, because I'm going to be making a lot more of these videos, and I'm going to be covering the new iCarly reboot. If you didn't know, that is happening, and it's coming out on June 17th. I'm going to be reviewing the episodes, all that content for you guys, and let me know in the comments below as well how you would rank these seasons, because boy am I curious, and I want to get all the critique I can get. What have I forgotten? What did I do right? Okay, thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you guys soon.